Hey everybody, welcome to Money's No Object. I'm your host, Dylan Howell. This is episode number 148 of our YouTube channel and podcast, and I cannot be more excited to continue sharing with you guys personal finance topics that I think will be useful for you in your long-term financial journey. Today, we are going to be talking about your skills and how specifically you can use your skills to further yourself financially, because obviously we all have some type of skills and some type of marketable skills that we can take to the market and work in some way in order to earn income and be better off financially. So we're going to talk about how we can develop certain skills, what skills may be good to develop, and how we can end up monetizing those skills in a particularly useful way that will help us financially and help us in our career field. Before we get started though, if you could go down below, hit the big red subscribe button, like this video, leave me any feedback in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to respond to anything you leave down there. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify podcasts, then be sure to subscribe and leave a review. That'd be much appreciated by me. And then if you could, go follow me on social media at MNO with Dylan. And it's really good supplemental materials to all the things I'm putting out in these long form episodes on YouTube and the podcast every single day. And then if you need somebody to help you build a financial plan that is specific to you and your family situation and to keep you accountable to that plan over the long term, I can help you do that. Just go to my website, www.mnowithdylan.com. Click on the Work with Dylan tab, and you can choose the financial coaching session type that would work best for you, and we can begin pushing towards your long-term financial goals together. Now listen, I know that many of you out there don't like your job, right? And I know that not liking your job makes it difficult to earn the most income that you can earn. And why is that? Because if you don't like your job and you lack motivation to go to work and you don't want to go to work, you're not going to put in your all while you are there. If you don't put in your all while you're there, you're going to miss out on potential benefits of working as hard as you could work. And so what we want to do, we want to find things that are cohesive with the particular skill sets that we have and turn those things into things that we can monetize and maybe even turn into our full-time gig over time. And I want to help you guys realize those things, and I want to help you guys to do that. Take some skill that you have or develop some skill or some interest that you have into something that can make substantial money and can be a career for you eventually and help you through your financial journey, because it is going to be hard to make any headway in your personal finances if you are working jobs that you hate, because your income is your number one wealth building tool. Well, I want that tool to get more powerful over time. Now, how does an income get more powerful over time? Well, it grows, right? It grows. It becomes a greater income. And so it becomes more powerful as to what you can do with your income. And so we want that tool to be more powerful. How do we make that tool more powerful? Well, you can only make more income really by working more or doing something that pays more. And we want you to be doing that. I want you to find something that maybe you don't have to work more hours for, but you can work and get compensated better for. And we want to find the skill sets that match your specific skill set and how we can monetize those skills into something that is going to be financially beneficial for us over the long term. Now, I want to begin by saying just because I talk about a particular skill or skill set on this episode doesn't necessarily mean that I expect you to try to fit yourself into that particular place. I want you to do the thing that is going to fit your skill set best. And the likelihood is I might not talk about it at all in today's episode, but I might talk about something that you're interested in, and they may really spark your interest, and you may say, well, yes, I need to take advantage of that particular type of opportunity. And so what I want to talk about is 7 high income skills for you to learn, right? So things that you can make a lot of money doing if you just work hard and learn these specific skills. So the first one is software engineering. Some of you just went to sleep, right? Software engineering is not something that is particularly interesting to a lot of people, but some people have a skill set that is particularly suited towards mathematics, logical thinking, being able to think through a particular process. And if you can do that, then you can likely learn how to write code and how to be a software engineer. Now, some employers require a 4-year degree to be a software engineer, but many of them do not. And even top employers like Google and Apple have done away with the requirement of a degree completely, and they just require certain types of certifications and things like that. So you can learn this without a 4-year university degree. Now, obviously, you do need to get certifications. You do need to take courses to understand. And they may not be college courses. It may be, free courses online, or something that you can learn on YouTube, or a master class that you pay for, or something like that. Because we want to keep our costs low if we're trying to find new skill sets that can really push us into a new career or a better career, or really propel us in the career that we are already in. And so it can take maybe around 12 weeks to complete some of the courses, and you can really learn a lot and then go and immediately apply it into the field. And software development is one of the best high income skills to learn because of the high demand for this type of work. Obviously, we live in the information age 2.0, right? What they used to call the information age, we're past that, right? Everything is digital. Everything requires somebody behind the scenes that knows how to write code, that knows how to develop things of the like. And you can be one of those individuals if you have that particular type of skill set. It's not uncommon for software engineers with a few years of experience to make over $100,000. So if you are working a dead-end job that's not paying that much right now, that's a pretty good salary. And then the best engineers in good companies can make $200,000 plus. And so obviously this would be a skill set that if you can go out and get really good at and get really interested in, then you could do something substantial with your income. And just think, if you're out there making, the average annual salary in the U.S. right now, $50,000 to $60,000, and if you can get a bump to 120 being a software engineer, just think about how that can change your life, how it can change your budget, how it can change your ability to save and invest, how it can change your ability to pay off your debts, how it can change your life. Getting a new career can open up just a myriad of doors for you, and not the least of which being financial doors. And so that is what I focus a lot on, but you can definitely make the best financial life for yourself with some of these skills that I'm going to talk about today. Now, then there's one that's pretty obvious, and the reason it's pretty obvious is because it's commission-based, right? And commission-based things are things that would be pretty obvious things to go into, because you could make a lot of money. Now, you could also make no money, but you can make a lot of money. So you could go into sales. If you are a people person, if you have certain types of extroverted skills to really go out there and explain things well to people and communicate well with others, you can go and be some type of salesman. Now, that doesn't have to be going door to door. That's not necessarily what I'm talking about. And it doesn't have to be somebody who is, making cold calls all the time, although that might be part of your job. But we're not talking about telemarketing. We are talking about being a legit account executive, being a salesperson for a company, or you could be an insurance salesman, or you could work in a financial advising role, right, where you are selling things and working on a commission or a fee structure in that way as well. And that can be really useful for you if you have those types of skills. And there are sales jobs in just about any type of industry, any type of field that you want to look into. And so you can look into these sales jobs, and hopefully you can find one that is going to benefit you well. And obviously a sales job is not going to require a specific type of degree. They may require some 4-year college degree, but they aren't likely to require a specific degree type. And you can make as much money as you want to make if you are a good salesperson. So this is a field that can be really interesting, especially if you're extroverted and can find a field where you believe in a product or believe in a service and you want to go sell it. That is the best way to go about a sales lifestyle, a sales career. Now, for those of you who are a little more creative, here is one for you. Digital marketing, right? Digital marketing is a skill that you can learn that can really create a lot of good income for yourself and can get you a job or a lot of freelance work doing things for companies and for individuals that, people don't have this type of skill. It's a field that includes everything from online advertising, social media marketing, content marketing, email marketing, all different types of marketing within this digital marketing subheading. And this type of thing is something that, people who know how to get people's attention, are really good on social media, can really create good content and really help people to market their business as well. You can make a lot of money because this is What gets people in the door, what gets people to pick a product or service is the marketing, right? Is the marketing behind whatever you are attempting to sell to a group of individuals. But this can be a really lucrative field because you can do a lot of freelance work. You can work for yourself and be contracted out quite a bit. And you can make as much money as you want to, as much work as you're willing to take on, you can do it. And this will just require some skills of creativity, learning to use some of the basic packages online that you can use to do digital marketing and make things look nice, and be able to really take advantage of things like SEO, which is search engine optimization, and things of the like. Now that brings us to the next skill that you could learn, and that is search engine optimization, right? SEO. This is something that everybody needs to understand. If you are within a business, running a business, attempting to run a business, whatever, right? In order to get your stuff in front of people's eyes, SEO is extremely important, and different types of SEO are extremely important. And so you can make a lot of money in this way because, again, you can do a lot of freelance work. You can work for different companies and be contracted out in that way. But SEO, it is the study of the best practices for helping a company's website or their YouTube channel or their podcast or whatever to show up highest within search engines, right? It is optimizing the search engine for a particular company. And so they want to be easily found when certain things are typed in, and when certain phrases or words are used in a Google search, they want to show up. And so learning things like Google SEO and freelancing within that can make you a lot of really good money and can be really beneficial to you over time. And then in a similar vein, right, there's web design. Again, for you creative individuals, web design is a big deal because it is all about making things functional and things that look good, right? If it looks good and it's functional, then you can be a successful web designer. And designing websites is not that difficult. There's so many tools nowadays that can allow you to design a particular website. It's amazing. And so if you can learn some of those skills, learn the ability to design good websites, then people will pay a pretty penny in order to get you in the door and to do their website for them, because it's something that is time consuming and they do not want to take on themselves. And so they can do that, and they will pay you a good amount in order to do so. So if you're a creative, if you're somebody who likes things online that you can create and make look nice and make really functional and suited to a particular type of business, then this could be a particular skill set that you could learn and employ. Then there's another one that's a little bit different from some of the ones we've talked about to this point, and it is copywriting. So copywriting isn't really well known, but within the industry, everybody knows how vital the skill of copywriting is. And the best copywriters can make tons and tons of money. But what do copywriters actually do? Well, they write words that are designed to get the reader to take a specific action. And what type of action? Well, it varies by a product, right? They want you to click a link or click on an advertisement or sign up for some type of class or webinar or something, right? In order to do that, then a good copywriter can be really, really useful. And some copywriters also specialize in video scripts for companies that use a video to sell things. They are carefully written and they take days or weeks to construct. And so copywriters can do that as well. And so copywriters get paid to write the words that will persuade more people to take a particular action. And that is so valuable to companies because if they can get you to take a particular action, like buying their product or subscribing to their newsletter or to their emails or to whatever, right? If they can get you to do that, then they've got you to a certain extent, right? So if that is the case, that you are interested in something like this, you're good with writing persuasively, you're good at using words as a particular medium, and you're really good in that space, then copywriting may be a skill that you can take on and make some really good income doing. Now, I've saved to the last, save till number 7, something that I think is just, so overlooked in our world, and I can't overlook it anymore here. Texas having the huge snowstorms that we've had, that Some of these individuals are the most valuable people on the face of the earth right now. And these are people like plumbers, electricians, HVAC technicians, then other things, other trade skills like being a mechanic, home inspector, dental hygienist, things like that. These are all trades, right? Many of these trade individuals are making the most money they've ever made this week and the end of last week because of this huge snowstorm here in Texas. They are making absolute bank. Because why? Because if your pipes bust because it was freezing outside, what are you going to do about it? What do you know to do, right? Can you go fix it? I know I can't. I can't go fix it. So what do you need? You need a plumber, right? What happens if your power goes out? Which power went out for many Texans, and many Texans are still dealing with that particular issue. Well, what happens if your power goes out? You know how to go restore the power? I don't. So what do you need? An electrician, right? If your heat goes out or your air goes out, do you know how to go fix that? I don't. I need an HVAC technician, right? I need somebody to come do that for me. And that is my whole point with these trade skills. They are skills that you can learn and you can make really good money because the demand is high. We are always going to need people to do these trades, but the supply is relatively low. There's not a ton of people that actually want to go do them. And so if this is something that is interesting to you, you like to work with your hands, you like to do things that are more technical and building things and being able to put things together and dealing with plumbing or electricity or whatever it may be, you can make really, really good money. And obviously you don't have to have any type of college degree for this, and you can be successful with that particular type of skill set. Now, what's my whole point? Why am I talking to you about different skills that you can develop in order to make more money? Well, you can make more money, right? And if you can make more money and do something that you actually enjoy and do something that is interesting and that, it doesn't even have to take over your career, right? You can do a lot of those things in a freelance way and just make extra money and allow you to do more things within your current lifestyle, your current situation, your current career, right? You may not want to give up what you're currently doing. You just may want to make some extra income on the side. And how is this useful? Well, because many of us are in a situation, I'm thankful that I'm not and that we've worked through these particular parts of the financial action plan. But many people are in a situation where they're in debt. They don't have any savings. They don't have anything invested. They're behind, right? They don't have enough money to cover a $400 expense. They are behind and they need to get going, right? And maybe in their current job, in their current situation, they're just not making the headway they need to make. Or maybe they're in a current situation that is fine, but they really want to jumpstart their ability to do the right things financially. Well, developing a skill set that can allow you to go and make more money and can allow you to do a lot of new things that will bring in income and allow you to kickstart your budget, kickstart your debt repayment, kickstart your building of an emergency fund, or you're investing, or you're giving generously, whatever it may be, wherever you are in the financial action plan, more income doesn't hurt, right? More income helps. It is the biggest tool that we have to build long-term wealth, our income. And so if we can increase the income, then we can do a lot more. We have a lot more options, right? But we have to know that we are going to have a plan with the money that we make and do the correct things, because that's not easy. That is absolutely the hard part. But if you've already subscribed to the idea, right, of doing the plan, of working the financial action plan, or some type of financial plan that's going to get you to where you need to be, then yes, by all means, develop a skill set, do something that you can do at a relatively low cost and make some really good money. A lot of those things, you can learn to do SEO on YouTube, right? You can learn to do web design on YouTube. You can do all different types of things without spending a lot of money in learning or developing those particular skill sets. And in doing so, you can make some really, really good money and really kickstart yours and your family's financial freedom journey. So what I would suggest is that you sit down and you start writing down things that you're interested in, things that you like, right? Things that may help you to determine what kind of field you want to enter, or what type of side hustle or new career do you want to step into. And sit down and write those things down. Write down what you're good at. Write down your skills and your abilities and things like that. And then go to something like Indeed.com, and look for jobs that match those skills, right? Look for jobs that require skill sets that are similar to that and say, okay, well, I can do all those things. Maybe that's something I should be interested in. And write down those particular fields, those particular types of jobs that you could be good at, that you could thrive in and make really good income in. And so you write those things down and then actually narrow it down to what you really want, what you really think would be interesting, what would be a low barrier of entry to get into, and get started building that particular set of skills. Get started getting the education that's needed maybe, or get started marketing yourself and trying to get out there and get the work that you need, because maybe you already have some of these skills and you're just not utilizing them. Maybe you have the ability to do web design and you just aren't doing it right now. Maybe you're really good at SEO and you're just not doing it right now. Maybe you can do any number of these things and you are just currently not doing it because you're just in a place where you're kind of stuck in a job or whatever it may be. And I don't want you to be there. I want you to be somewhere where you are enjoying what you're doing, and it will it will create motivation for you to really push in your financial life. It will create motivation to make more income, right? It will create motivation to work harder and get to a place where you're making a really good income and you can do a lot of things with that really, really nice income. Now, again, if you're perfectly content where you are, I'm not trying to push everybody into a side hustle. I'm not trying to push everybody to just do more work, right? That may not be a place that some of us are in. But if you are in a place, let's say, and this is one of the biggest ones, right? If you're trying to get out of debt, you need to do that quickly, right? You need to really put your head down and put every dollar that you can towards your debt repayment plan. You really need to get to work on paying off your debt. And something that really helps with debt payoff is more income. The more income you have, the quicker you can pay off your debts. And if you're in that place, it may be time to take some of these skills that you might already have and put those skills to work, right? You can put your skill set to work and do something that is meaningful, do something that is enjoyable, right? And still get things done financially that you need to get done. And I especially want to just encourage you guys who, may be in a place where you don't know what you want to do in life, right? You don't know what your career is going to be. You're kind of stuck. Maybe you've lost a job. Maybe you're just out of college, don't have a job yet, or maybe just out of high school, don't have a job yet, and you don't really know what you're going to do. Well, you can look at the things that you're good at and you can go find things that match the things that you're good at, right? Your skill set is valuable. Your skill set has value. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't need to refine that skill set or make that skill set better, because everybody needs to be making their skill sets better at all time. If you want to go be a software engineer, right? If you say, I don't really want a 4-year degree, but I really like, writing code, I want to be a software engineer. Well, that's a consistent learning process. So you may not like school, but if you don't want to consistently be learning and learning how to develop and learning how to do different things on computers and writing code and things of the like, then you may not be successful in that field. Just because something doesn't require a degree doesn't mean it doesn't require education. You have to be consistently learning, and you have to, even if you have a skill set, you have to be continuing to refine that skill set, right? If you're currently doing a certain type of SEO and then there's something else that you need to take advantage of, or some other way that you need to be getting the search engine to pop something up or do, things change, right? That's my whole point. Things change. And if things change, then you need to be changing too. You need to be actively adapting to your surroundings, actively adapting to the things that are going on in the environment around you in order to be successful. And I want you to be successful in whatever career you choose. I want you to be successful doing work that you really enjoy doing. But remember that work, as meaningful as it may be, and we want it to be meaningful, right? What it's there to do is to provide us with an income that we can then use, right? That we can then budget, that we can then, spend on our bills and our groceries and our, lights, water, all these different types of things that we can spend on doing things with our family, that we can spend to invest, that we can give away, that we can do all of these different types of things with our income. And being able to live the financial life that you've always wanted to live is in part going to rely on whatever income you can bring in. And again, I am not pushing you to, be workaholics. I definitely don't want people to do that. I don't want you to be in a place where you're not happy. I want you to be happy and fulfilled in the work that you're doing. And I know that many of you aren't. I know that many of you are in a place that it's not enjoyable to go to work. It's not enjoyable to do the thing that you are currently doing. And I just want you to look at yourself, look in the mirror, and look at the skills that you have, because you do have skills. I know you have skills. There are things within you that you are good at. And you can take those things that you're good at and monetize them and use that skill set in order to further your financial life. You'll be so thankful that you did. But before you step into any place where you're doing any type of new work or trying to jump into a freelance deal or whatever, make sure you do your research. Make sure that you know that this is something that you're really interested in. But when you decide to do it, hit it full force and allow it to help you financially. Allow it to help you to step into a new place. If you want to move jobs, maybe this is your opportunity. Maybe this is your call to action. If you want to find a side hustle to help you pay off debt or to help you build an emergency fund, this is your call to action. If you're further along in the financial action plan and you're doing all of the investing and paying off your home and all this different type of stuff, and you just realize that the job you've been working for years is just not that fulfilling to you, this is your call to action. Use your skill set for good. Use your skill set to do things that are going to be meaningful to you and that are going to boost your income over time, because I promise your skills are valuable and probably far more valuable than you ever believed them to be. Don't take my word for it. Go check it out. Go understand what people will pay for some of these skill sets. And I promise you will be pleasantly surprised in many cases. So thanks for watching this video. If you could go down below, hit the big red subscribe button, like this video, leave me any feedback in the comments down below if you haven't done so already, and I'll be sure to respond to anything that you leave down there. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify podcasts, then be sure to subscribe and review the podcast on either one of those platforms, and I would really appreciate that. Follow me on social media at MNO with Dylan, and that's really good supplemental materials to all the things that I'm putting out in these long form episodes on YouTube and the podcast every single day. And then if you need somebody to help you walk through your financial life and to build a plan that is specific to yours and your family's situation right now, then I can help you do that. Just go to my website, www.mnowithdylan.com. Click on the Work with Dylan tab, and you can choose the financial coaching session type that would work best for you, and we can begin pushing towards your long-term financial goals together. So tune in tomorrow as I talk about investing in your family and why you will not be sorry that you invested in them. And I'm not just talking about monetarily, so you might want to tune in to that one. So thanks for tuning into this episode of Money's No Object. I'm your host, Dylan Howell. God bless.